Hello. Welcome to our video on creating coax cable. This video is a part of our networking course, which oddly enough, you may be able to use this for installing cable and satellite. But the goal here today is to take this connector, which is an F connector, and add it to the end of this cable, which is an RG6 cable, or if you're using really old cable, you could use RG59. The goal of this course obviously is to teach you the steps required to be able to do this. So obviously you're going to need some F connector ends, which you can buy at any home improvement store. You can also buy the coax cable at any home improvement store as well. Mine happens to be shielded, so it's up to you whether or not you buy shielded cable or non-shielded cable. I will tell you it's always safer to buy shielded cable, but in the end, what ends up happening is shielded cable is a little bit harder to attach these two. So we'll go ahead and kind of discuss it as we get to it. Let's move these out of the way really fast, and let's talk about the tools you're going to need to be able to actually put this cable together. So the first thing you're going to need is a cutter, which is going to allow you to cut the actual cable. This is a Data Shark cutter. It's pretty straightforward. It just opens up, you slide the cable through, and if you want to cut it, you could just clip it and it would snap through. That's how this was cut, to a short cable on both ends. So after you have yourself a cutter, you're going to need yourself a stripper. You may have seen this video in our Ethernet cable. In our Ethernet cable video, I use this stripper to do a lot of things, including strip back just about every cable on the planet, but it's actually designed specifically for coax. And if you get a chance to look closely on the inside, you can see on the left-hand side, it's actually got a particular pin that's set up for taking back or stripping back coax, and another one set for stripping back the shielding on the coax. And so it's actually designed for this, and so you're going to see it in action today. And lastly, you're going to need a compression crimper. This actually is a Data Shark. It came with the rest of the equipment. You can get this in a kit. If you're watching this video in our Learning Center, you can click the link right after this and you can buy these yourself. But the idea is simple. This actually attaches the connector to the end of the cable. And we specifically use compression style ends just because they tend to be more secure. The last thing you want to do is spend an entire day troubleshooting, looking for what's wrong with the cable, and the reality is I simply slipped out of the end because it wasn't crimped down far enough. So compressions tend to be a little bit more secure. We're also using a special F connector. You should take notice, this is actually a waterproof one. They're a little bit more complicated to put on as far as for the strength you need and kind of getting them right. But I've been pretty good at this over time, so this should go on pretty easy. So let's clear these out. Let's go ahead and start with the cable. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your cable end and you're going to want to strip back the cable portion that you're going to use to slide in the cable, or slide in the connector. So when you get it in the connector, you're probably going to want roughly about an inch of space to be able to slide it in to where the end of the white sheath or the end of the white shielding will basically nudge up against the top of that connector. So let's go ahead and strip it back. I'm going to put it on the right-hand side of the stripper, down an inch, and just simply twist around. Do a little bit of fidgeting. Slide that off the end. And you can see this foil shielding. You can peel it back like I do, or some people cut it because it really annoys them. That's obviously help the shielding on the actual unit. You'll see why here when I put this end on. And then you'll see the main cable, and this is when you use the second part of it. And this actually makes the F connection tip, the actual conductor, and exposes it. And these things are actually designed to make them the perfect length. So if you just clamp that down, spin it around again, pull that off the end, you can see the copper conductor that transfers the signal to the cable box, networking adapter, or whatever you're going to particularly use this cable for. So let's take the end of our connector and we're going to slide it until it's flush on the end. Going to look in the middle of this, slide it through, and you'll see the edge of our cable flush with that end of the connector. And that's how you know it's on far enough. Once it's on far enough, it's simple enough. You slide it in, it locks into place. Don't push on it, don't press it, don't do anything other than simply hold it firmly in place, take the grip, and press down. If the cable was in the proper place, you'll still see it's still in the same spot, and actually the connector compression down on the cable doesn't slide up into the F connector. When you're all done, you'll see that it doesn't come off. And the idea with the shielding, like I said before, if you really want to be super neat with these things, you can cut these back so you can't see the edge of the connector on the bottom of these, and so it looks really kind of professional when you do it. You should literally have about this much connector exposed on the end. It should be no more than a half an inch. Anything longer than that, it's not really viable to slide into the end of a connection. So this has been the quick and dirty on setting up F connectors. Obviously, if you're just watching this video online, feel free to watch any of our other videos. If you're on our Learning Center, go ahead and continue on with the course, and we'll see you a little bit later.